So joy is a gift. We all know joy is a gift. Joy, I mean, people who say, joy is a gift. It's kind of like a cliche kind of thing.
Another day. That'll go right there.
But, and people sound really philosophical when they say joy is a gift, love is a gift, happiness is a gift. But it's like, why is it a gift? And why is it a gift in this state, like in this state of materialism, if you will, just stating that, if there is a great beyond, if there is a great unknown, if there is life after death, why is joy a gift right now?
Okay, so today I'm just pretty much going to be in the vocal booth the whole day because most of this song is voices. So that's fun.
And I think that joy is a gift right now because I don't think joy would be able to take place if there weren't limitations.
I really didn't get a lot done the first day I was here because I was only here for like 2-3 hours. So we just got the main.
Now, the whole reason I say that is because, and also the whole reason why I feel like I can do this series on joy is because this all comes from my podcast that was titled I Experienced the Simulation Theory. And in that whole experience, there was depersonalization, there was derealization involved, but then there was also that thought of like, is this depersonalization, derealization, or because it's happened to me before, that's not the first time it's happened to me. It's like, or am I experiencing something more because I got into it from a very deep meditative state. And so I felt like I was in this pure place of consciousness that it was just like, I was so aware of everything, and it was like my mind was just like broke open and free. But not, that sounds good, but it wasn't good. And maybe it wasn't good because it wasn't something I was ready for. I don't know. But I do know that the thing that got me out of that place was joy.
Check 1, 2. Check. We're working. We are on. Yeah, I'm just gonna do a ton of vocals. The original track, the entire song was 38 tracks. And this time around, it's going to probably quadruple. So just the voices alone are going to be more tracks, more layered, more full out than the entire than basically the demo version of this song. So now I get to just record a ton more vocals. Yeah. So here we go. And this is going to be this is going to sound so sick. I'm stoked for this.
And it was because I realized that joy in this life, we can only have joy because of limitations. Like, obviously we know about the law of polarity. Like, the law meaning we wouldn't have any concept of joy if joy was the only thing that existed. And we wouldn't have any concept of pain if pain was the only thing that existed. So there has to be joy and pain in order to have an experience of some kind. And so, like, obviously I was in a state of like, I'm not trapped. It was just like pure consciousness. But it was like questioning everything, and it was just a crazy situation. You'll have to listen to the podcast to hear the whole story. But once I realized that I am a finite being right now, that there are limits, and that those limitations, it's like that's the gift.
Yeah, glad I didn't record that take. Which is funny because typically it's like the practice takes that I do it's like are good, and I should have always been recording with the practice take, and then I'll record I'm like, okay, I'm ready, I'm good to go, and I record that take, and it's like terrible, like it just doesn't work out, and so I'm like, I always should record the practice take, but that practice take kind of sucked, so now let's get the good one.
It's like those limitations there, because I just finished the season finale of The Good Place, and in The Good Place, when they get to heaven, when they get to the good place, and they find out that everyone's pretty much like happy zombies, like they get everything they want, they can do anything that they want, they have the ability to be happy all the time, but they don't have a choice. They don't have it, like they're living on for eternity, but they don't have a choice to be put to peace, be put to rest, to die, whatever. And so what they end up doing is they end up through a series of events, I guess you'll have to watch the show, is that they gave them a choice. They said, you can leave when you want to leave. And it was like that choice that it created this polarity of like life and death, that then people were able, because they became, it was on their own time, but they became finite. It wasn't this infinite thing stretching on for eternity. And then they started to not be happy zombies, but they actually started to experience life in an afterlife sort of sense. Obviously, it's a fictional story, but I think it proves a point of that joy, I think that joy is only possible with our limitations. And it has to do with the law of polarity, but I also think it has to do so much with, say there is a great beyond, say there is a great unknown, say there is life after death. I don't know what joy will look like there if it is this infinite, eternal thing. But I think that joy, the joy that we have right now here on earth in our materialistic realm, is such a gift because of the limitations.
Vocals, all of my music, all of my songs are so vocal heavy, and I'm such a perfectionist when it comes to vocals, and so I'm like so hard on myself, but I also just want to get it done. It is what it is. Why can't I just do that when I'm recording? Why do I gotta make it so much more difficult when I'm recording? I can do it when I'm not recording. God, just do it. Freak, man.
We're not materialistically some sort of infinite creature being. Like we can't. It's just we have these things that are their limitations set in place, and I honestly feel that joy is found in the limitations. Like I can say that for even my creative process. Like there's things that, it gets so hectic in music, and when I'm making music, when I'm like, there is so much that like is going on that I need to figure out how to boil it down in order to make it come to life. And it's only when I start to put limitations on myself that the joy starts to be cultivated, and I start to find that groove. I start to find that song, that music that I can feel and that I can move to. And so I think that joy, looked at as this ultimate freedom without limitations, eternal and infinite, I don't know what that is, but I know that right here, right now, that's not what joy looks like. I think joy right here, right now looks like embracing the limitations, embracing the ways in life that we just can't, but then we learn to embrace it in that moment. And then I think that's something beautiful, and that's what I learned through that the episode that I had of slipping into another mental breakdown. It's when I realized that I was limited. It's when I realized that it's like, the other people are real, this world is real, I can't, whatever it was. But it was that realization that I had that I was limited, and that actually brought me a sense of peace and brought me a sense of joy, because it was like embracing that limitedness, that it was like, this is where joy is found. and it just started to blow my mind. And yeah, it's something that I've been thinking about ever since. But it's reality. So, and reality is limited. Our reality is limited, and I think that's where we find joy. And I think that's a beautiful thing. Now, now I'm seeing joy as what we find in our limits, instead of trying to find joy in some sort of limitlessness. And it's changed my perspective. It's changed how I live life, and it's real. It's reality. It's joy.